is what's amazing. If you have a property, if you have a commercial building, you have real estate, residential, doesn't make a difference what it is. What we have done is we have created a software where we can literally predict how much cryptocurrency your location could mine, meaning how much it would get rewarded.
Welcome to the How to Scale Commercial Real Estate Show. Whether you are an active or passive investor, we'll teach you how to scale your real estate investing business into something big.
John Humphrey is a seasoned entrepreneur, author, and is best known as the revenue generation expert. He is an expert at implementing systems to generate ongoing income for not only his own companies, but also for his clients worldwide. John, welcome to the show.
Sam, great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure's mine. 3 questions I ask every guest who comes on the show in 90 seconds or less. Can you tell me, where did you start? Where are you now? And how did you get there?
Okay. Started 20 years ago, originally from New York. I'm out here in California 20 years. This past April was 20 years my wife and I have been out here in California. Yes, we came out here in California to create fame and fortune and become entrepreneurs. And that's where our journey started. Fast forward 20 years, I've been in business with one of my best friends that I met out here in California when we first got out here, Jerry Conti. And we've owned 3 or 4 different companies together. And our latest company right now, LinxSTR, is revolutionizing the new IoT helium platform that's being launched worldwide, and that's our latest play right now. And it's super exciting what we're into.
LinxSTR. Can you break this down for us? You may have used a bunch of words that, if there's real estate entrepreneurs like me, just said, what did he just say? Helium, IoT, LinxSTR, and my eyes glaze over. Break it down for us.
I'm going to tell you all about it. It's actually it's a pretty cool concept. It's been around a little bit over 2 years ago. A cryptocurrency called Helium, the actual cryptocurrency, said, "Okay, listen, we're going to create our own new cryptocurrency." And right now there's 8,000 cryptocurrencies in the world that most people will never hear. Right. This one said, "We're going to do something different. We are going to create the world's biggest IoT network." And IoT stands for Internet of Things. Now, if you don't know what that is, I didn't know what the hell it was when we got this whole thing rolling. But basically, it's a network that is basically an outdoor network of the internet. I'm just going to give you a plain, simple truth. So like I was sharing with you, Sam, like inside our house, we have our Wi-Fi in the house, right? But we go outside, we're using cellular data. But there are billions of new devices that are being developed right now for everything from motor scooters to the cameras that go around your property, to temperature monitor, to leak detection, to all sorts of things that can happen with a property. All these little devices need to be hooked up into the internet.
Right. But
typically they're not going to hook up into the Wi-Fi because a lot of these devices are actually outside the property. So how do they hook up? Well, they're not going to hook up to cellular because it's too expensive, and they're not going to the satellite because that's even more expensive. So over the last number of years, there's been a network called the IoT network. Now, the IoT network has been around in major cities for a very, very long time. So if you ever gone to swipe your credit card at a parking meter downtown,
right? Well,
your information is getting beamed into this outdoor internet network called the IoT network. If you ever gone to like the Lime motor scooters, the little electric scooters you see everywhere downtown, how does that all operate? That's an IoT device. So now what's happening is that not only are more and more IoT devices becoming made, right now in the next 3 years, 75 billion new devices are going to need a place to hook up to the internet. This is everything what's going to happen. Almost 100% of our life in 3 years right now is going to be all interconnected. It's really crazy. So what do? Well, they created this. So Helium said, we're going to create the world's first 100% connected worldwide network. And how they're going to do it is not by building it centrally. They're going to decentralize the internet. So now this isn't the size of an actual box, but it's about the size of what's called a helium hotspot. Okay. So imagine having this in your house, and all this little device does is it looks for other IoT devices, and all it does is it beacons and witnesses. It just basically shares the network to create a network. So think of it this way. If Netflix got started today, they would send you a little device that you would plug into your router. this is what they would do. And they would say, great, we'll send you the device. And when your neighbor orders a TV show or a movie, and the movie has to go through all these devices to get to your neighbor, and this little movie goes over your box to get to your neighbor's box, we're going to pay you every time that happens. This is a peer-to-peer network that is being built. This is really what, Web 3.0 really is. It's called decentralizing the network, having the people own the network. So Helium is known as the people's network. And this is what's getting built right now. So super exciting. There's about 700,000 of those little devices worldwide in 5,800 cities, and 200,000 of them are in the United States. So there are quite a number. But people are saying, well, how many will it take? It'll take about 2 to 3 million devices to completely blanket the United States. So think about this in a few years, Sam. This is kind of crazy. Me and you won't be talking over cellular towers anymore. Our phone, our actual communication is going to be going box to box to box to box to box to get anywhere it needs to go, the entire world. This is where it's going to be happening. So Helium's going to be really the biggest data provider, in the world in the next few years. This is what's happening.
That is really amazing. I mean, this is obviously you're at the front of this. I guess give us the backstory on how you saw the opportunity here. I mean, was this what your background was in? And, are you a big tech guy?
No, not a tech guy. I love tech. I like to use tech, but I'm not in the weeds when it comes. I'm not an electrical engineer or anything. I'm more of a user, right?
Right.
So here's what happened. So my partner and I, Jerry, we've had a short-term vacation rental development company for many, many years. And we actually taught people how to convert large homes into luxury short-term rentals. And we did that in the arbitrage model, where we would go rent a giant house and convert it and then cash flow the property. It was amazing. I mean, one of my properties in Arizona, I was paying $10,500 a month rent, which was nuts, right? But it was bringing in $35,000 a month in bookings. So super great business. But then 2020 happened, and we all know what happened in March of 2020. We had the pandemic. And what people don't realize is in the month of April, Airbnb came out and said, listen, we know everybody's panicking with travel. So here's what we're going to do. Regardless of your cancellation policy with your host, if you want to go ahead and cancel, go ahead and we'll give you 100% of your money back. Well, listen, that was great for the traveler, but it sucked for us as the host.
Right.
Jerry and I lost $600,000 in bookings in 30 days because everybody was canceling and there was no recourse. And so that really scared us. And we said, whoa, listen, if we're really hooked into a big tech giant here like Airbnb or VRBO, and they do something like this, it could really kill your business. And so Jerry decided, hey, let's start a technology arm of our short-term vacation rental business where people can create websites where they can book direct. We could do pricing, we could do marketing, social media marketing, where people can go out and get their own bookings so they can be empowered to have their own business regardless of what happens if they got knocked off of Airbnb or knocked off of VRBO. And the same thing happens in marketing, right? People have a Facebook account that gets shut down for some reason. All their marketing dries up. So we wanted to do that for the STR world. So we're doing this for a little bit. And we were looking for all tech to put into our homes. And somebody said, hey, you want to check this thing out? It's called Helium. We know what it was. And they said, well, listen, you could put a box, literally add this Helium hotspot to your short-term vacation rental properties, and you can earn crypto. You'll get rewarded in cryptocurrency. And we looked into it, we said, wow, that's really amazing. We jumped on it. But then as soon as we jumped on it, we saw a whole bunch of pitfalls of why it wasn't going to work. And so one of the big reasons is that I show you this little box, right? This is the size of a Helium hotspot you would get off the internet somewhere. It doesn't work. And the reason it doesn't work, it's not powerful enough. So what we did is we hired a guy from Motorola who took that thing apart. We deconstructed it and we built this, it looks like a utility box. I don't have one right here with me in the office, but it's a small utility box, probably the size of a toaster. And then we put an external antenna on the roof. And we did this whole thing. So we basically souped up the Helium hotspot. We contracted with a manufacturer and we created our own customized box. And by doing that, we built a better mousetrap. And then all of a sudden, this was doing even bigger than our short-term vacation rental businesses, as people kept calling us saying, I want one of your boxes. I have a property. I'm a property management company. I have 1,000 properties. I want to make crypto. Like, I could add this on and just make residual money without doing anything. I'm in. And that's kind of how LinxSTR got started 6 months ago.
6 months ago. That's rapid growth. Tell me about the opportunity for commercial real estate investors.
Yeah, this is what's amazing. If you have a property, if you have a commercial building, you have real estate, residential, doesn't make a difference what it is. What we have done is we have created a software where we can literally predict how much cryptocurrency your location could mine, meaning how much it would get rewarded. So what we do is we invite people, to get on our calendar. We will literally get on a Zoom call with them and say, hey, let's go over your 5 to 10 properties that you have, or maybe it's even more. We'll analyze them in real time, and then they'll make a decision on where they want to put hotspots. Because the one pitfall that we did see, Sam, was that in the beginning, people were just buying hotspots, plugging them in, and then all of a sudden I'm seeing all over social media, like, this is a bunch of BS. Like, I'm not making any money. Like, this is what they were saying. Like, well, what is this? And it's because they were literally taking a little box like this, plugging it into their router box, sticking it next to a window on the first floor of their apartment. The signal was going nowhere,
right?
Like, absolutely nowhere. And so that's what we found. So for real estate professionals, commercial real estate people at buildings, we could put an antenna on the roof and you could just be earning residual crypto rewards. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer for people. It really is.
What's the break even on that? I mean, is it something where, hey, it's $1,000 for the box, in 3 years you break even on it? I mean, it sounds like I'm being forthright here, so don't let me offend you. Obviously, you've got a business that you guys are going somewhere with, and you've got traction with it. So I'm just the naysayer trying to clarify.
This is great. So I'll tell you the cost right now, how it works. Real simple. So the box is $29.97. So if you bought a retail box, it's about $3,000. Okay. Now people say, okay, now listen, I will tell you, I'll be the first one to tell you, you can go onto eBay right now and buy a box for $500. You can, but it's going to look like this.
Right.
And it ain't going to work. I'm just telling you, it's a $500 waste of money. So what we did is we have a premier piece of tech that we put together for somebody. Now, here's the reason we did it. It's not for how much it costs, but how much it's going to make. So let's say, for example, you put our box out there and it gives you 5 tokens a month, meaning 5 HNT a month gets rewarded for you basically doing nothing. The box is sitting here and it's just pinging and witnessing. So over the course of a year, that's 60 tokens. In 5 years, that'd be 300 tokens that you would have in your crypto wallet worth whatever the value HNT is going to be. Now, I would tell you in 5 years, HNT is supposed to be around $250 a token. And let's just make it a round number. Let's just say it's 300 a token and you've got 300 tokens. That's not bad. That is not a bad, if you do the math on that, that's pretty good money.
Right.
Yeah, it's $90,000 on a $3,000 one-time investment with no maintenance fee, no anything. It costs about $5 a year in electricity to run the box. So this is what people are looking at in terms of ROI, is that I'm in it for more of the 10-year play where, Jerry and I want to mine a few million coins in 10 years. Our goal is to put 20,000 helium hotspots out in the marketplace. And that's $100 million business right there. I mean, it's going to be massive. So everybody that gets a helium hotspot, you want to be thinking right now, just accumulating coins.
Right.
Because then when helium goes to 500 or 1,000, maybe it becomes a Bitcoin one day and goes to $10,000 or $20,000 a coin, you're going to be sitting on a fortune for a very, very minimal investment.
Tell me about this. We're long in the RV resort space. So talk to me about that application. Yeah.
We're putting them everywhere. RV resorts are fantastic because there is an office there, right, that does have internet. And the reason I say internet is because the box needs to be powered by the Ethernet right now. It's simply that. It plugs into the Ethernet port of your router box. It doesn't use data. It just uses the power.
Oh.
I know now in the future, they're going to have other locations where it's going to be cellular and you don't have to plug it in. But RV resorts are great. And one of the reasons they're great is because you can put literally a 40 or 50 foot tower, like an antenna, like in the RV resort. And the higher the antenna is, the more HNT, the more crypto reward you're going to earn, because the more boxes it's going to reach. Everything is about height with us, everything. So the higher the location of your antenna, the better. So RV resorts, we have put helium hotspots in RV resorts. Very good, because they can kind of make their own rules. They don't have an HOA. They can just build some freaking tower there that will help install. And now they're just mining tons of crypto there.
What is your guys' angle? I know you guys want to mine your own, of course, helium, but or HNT, I guess, as you call it. Maybe that's the short 3 letters for it. But what's your guys' angle other than selling the boxes, which is a one-time sale? I mean, maybe you're making some money on your boxes, but there's got to be more to the business than that.
Correct. So we're sharing, every box that we put out there, we're sharing the HNT with that person. So we'll get 50% of the HNT, they get 50% of the HNT. But we do everything. We do the shipping, we do installation, we do your hotspot maintenance, your crypto wallet. Everything is like, we do it all for you. And the reason we did that is we wanted to target real estate professionals that want to be in the money of just making money with their properties. And this is extra money for them, but let us handle the tech of this. We're not interested in people that want to tinker and, like that isn't it. I come across those people, Sam, like they're going, hey, I'm going to go build my own hotspot. I'm going to go do it. And I said, yeah, listen, you go for it. We want to, our goal is every box is out there. It's a long-term play for us that we want to earn HNT. But then the second part of this play is that we're going to be creating a consulting division of LinxSTR that is going to be all about the devices, because this is the next phase of what's going to happen. There's going to be 75 billion new IoT devices that are going to be introduced into the world marketplace. So we're going to create a whole division that's going to be creating devices, consulting with companies on how to get the data to their devices. All of those things is really the next play. And that's going to be massive. Yeah. That's going to be massive.
So the sales on the front end of these devices is really just the entry point for you guys into the market, collecting HTTP.
It is, and there's tons of hard costs in a tech company. So we're not making a fortune off of devices. I mean, we're really not. I mean, the whole point of this is the HNT,
right? And
the consulting and how to use the data when the data comes up. Now we actually, it was interesting. We spoke to an IoT device manufacturer the other day. And they have hundreds of devices, and they're the funniest devices you'll ever see because they're little devices, right? One of the ones, and they're all designed for real estate. They're all designed for how to maintain your property remotely, how to do everything from like a leak happening on your property or fire damage or, anything, even critters. So the funniest thing I saw was an IoT mousetrap that they have. So imagine putting mousetraps out in your property. You got critters, and instead of hoping and praying that you're catching something, the device is actually an IoT device. So when something happens with the device, it'll alert. It'll go right on. So you can put it out into your yard, and it's on the network. And as soon as something catches, you actually get notification on your phone.
That's funny. Yeah, there's endless applications. Like, you're
endless applications right now.
If here in Memphis, it would be rats, not mice. So
rats.
Yeah, I know, right? Everybody on the show just took their headphones out and went, "Oh, that's disgusting." Yeah, well, welcome to the Delta. Yeah, so it'd be funny. Yeah, you caught a rat. Great. Okay, tell me about saturation. Like, how far apart do these have to be? Is there, is it one per neighborhood? Is it one per house?
Great question. The hotspots ideally need to be 1,000 feet apart. So if you had a building, like you had an apartment complex or something, or a fourplex, you would only put one hotspot there. That's it. Now, this is also the issue that's been happening, because when the whole network got started, it's completely unregulated at this point. So people were just buying things. And what would happen is there'd be too many hotspots in a concentrated location. So there's a network called the IoT Helium Network, and it'll tell you, the great thing about it is that every hotspot that is live on the network, you can see what that hotspot is doing in real time. So there's actually a worldwide map. And the way that they break it down is, if I was to take this hotspot and have it go live, it would show up in what's called a green hexagon. That's what it looks like on the map. It looks like there's a green hexagon that is over my house here, but the hexagon is literally two square miles. And this shows up as one hotspot within the green hexagon. Now, the ideal thing, the reason they do that is because ideally you do not want to have more than 6 helium hotspots in one hexagon. Because once you get past 6, then it's kind of like a pizza eating itself. There's only so much that's going to be, it's like a pizza. More and more people coming in, the pizza's the same size.
Right.
Now, that's this type of hotspot.
Right.
The one that we have, which is built, ours is going to go outside of our hexes, and they're going to go up to 200 miles away. They're going to network with other boxes. So it's going to go super far, the signal. Like, you don't realize how far the signal can go. It goes really, really far. So that's why ours will outperform anything on the market.
Wow. John, this is fascinating. Thanks for taking the time to break down this opportunity we have here with our properties. That is, there's always something new to learn. And this is certainly something new to me. So I appreciate you taking the time to share it with us. If our listeners want to get in touch with you or learn more about you and what you guys are doing, how do they do that?
Simple. If you have some properties, you want us to do an analysis of your property, you want to learn about a little bit more what we're doing, I'd say just book some time directly on my calendar. I always kind of do this. I leave this open-ended with everybody. It's simple. It's IoT John, IoTJohn.com. And then you can book some time to get an evaluations done of your properties and see if you're sitting on a crypto gold mine somewhere.
That's cool. John, thank you so much for your time today. I do appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Sam. Be well.